meeting previously filed with the city clerk. The first items will be applications submitted for consideration. Item number 1, Uno's Restaurant, LLC, DBA Uno's Chicago Grill, 210 Squire Road. Peter W. Major is the manager. This is an application of Uno Restaurants, LLC, DBA Uno Chicago Grill, for a change of corporate officers. Is there someone here from Uno Restaurants, LLC?
Me.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Name and address for the record, please.
Anita Dempsey, 44 Industrial Way, Norwood, Massachusetts, 02062.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dempsey.
You're welcome.
Can you explain to us what your plans are for this application?
It was actually a promotion and reassignment of title. The Jim Alaria was the CEO, resigned and left, and we went through COVID, reassigned and realigned our officers, and the only change to that was adding Brad Boston as an LLC member. Our bylaws require us to have 3 officers, so therefore Eric was promoted to CEO, president, and treasurer. George Hers remains secretary, and the addition and change was adding Brad Boston to the officers.
Thank you very much. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions. I've gone over the application. Everything seems to be in order.
Commissioner Osina, are you all set?
Yeah, I'm all set. I reviewed the application. I have no questions.
Very good. We'll close this part of the hearing. Are there any proponents? Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of this application? I don't see or hear anybody. I will close that section and ask for opponents. Is there anybody opposed to the application for a change of offices for Uno's Restaurants, LLC? I don't see or hear anybody. I will close that section. Ms. Dempsey, are there any, will there be any changes that the people will see in Revere as a result of this, or is it going to be basically the same operation?
It'll be the same operation.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Who would make anyone, my commissioners want to make a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'd second that motion.
Very good. The application for a change of offices is approved. The application of Uno Restaurants, LLC, DBA Uno Chicago Grill, Peter W. Major, manager, for a change of corporate offices is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 2, Revere Restaurant Group, Inc., DBA Tio Margaritas Mexican Restaurant, 85 Legion Highway. Sean M. Casey is the manager. This is an application for a change of manager. The application of Revere Restaurant Group, Inc., DBA Tio Margaritas Mexican Restaurant, for a change of manager of an all-alcohol restaurant license from Jeffrey K. Saylor. Is there someone here from Revere Restaurant Group, Inc.?
Yes, Robert, it's Sean Casey. I'm here.
Thank you very much. Mr. Casey, can you tell us what this change of manager will mean for the restaurant?
Not much, just basically just switching over. The gentleman that was in charge, the general manager, Mr. Saylor, before COVID, his parents were ill. He left the company, moved down to Florida. I came back to the Revere location. It's my second stint here. I'm familiar with the city, and I've been the general manager here since January. Margaritas has been here for about 15 years, so it'll just basically be re-signing the liquor license, and that would be it.
Very good, sir. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
No, he's answered my question. He's been affiliated with Margaritas in the past, so I have no questions.
Very good. Commissioner Alsina?
Same. I have no questions. I reviewed the application. Everything looks in order, and I love the wings over there, Margarita. I'm always gonna love those Juan wings. I'll tell you that.
A good man. I like to hear that. Thank you.
Really good.
Very good. Well, we'll close this section of the hearing, and we will ask for any proponents. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of this application for a change of manager? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Is there anybody opposed? Again, I don't see or hear anybody. We will close that section and open it up for discussion and/or motions. Do any of my fellow commissioners want to discuss anything or make a motion?
No, I'm very familiar with the business. The business has been here, as he said, for 15 years. And as far as I know, there's never been any problems there. So I have no questions.
I'd move to approve the application for change of manager.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you very much, commissioners. The application for a change of manager for Revere Restaurant Group, Inc., DBA TO1 Margaritas Mexican Restaurant, Sean M. Casey as the manager, is approved. Thank you very much.
Sean, I'm gonna come see you over there across the street.
Good man. Looking forward to seeing you, buddy.
I'm gonna come see you.
Very good. Bon appetit, gentlemen. Item number 3, Colwyn Management, Inc., DBA Staybridge Suites, Holiday Inn Express, Boston, 245 Revere Beach Parkway. Catherine Marie Cucciello is the manager. This is an application for a change of manager and the application of Colwyn Management, Inc., DBA Staybridge Suites, Holiday Inn Express, for a change of manager for an all-alcohol inn-holders license from Jonathan Moore. This is continued from the October meeting. Is there someone here from Colwyn Management, Inc.?
Yep. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and licensed commissioners. This is John Aida of McDermott, Quilty and Miller, the attorney on behalf of the licensee and applicant. Also in attendance is Catherine Kathy Cucciello, who is the proposed manager of record. I see her name on the screen, so it's good that she's joining us. Just briefly by way of experience, Kathy has been in the hospitality industry for 18 years. 13 of those years, she has been a manager at the Hampton Inn in Revere. So she is well-versed as it comes to the rules and regulations of the board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as it pertains to sale and service of alcohol. She's a prior manager of record as well, vetted by the ABCC. So Kathy is going to be taking over the day-to-day operations in that management role. And if you have any questions, she could certainly answer those. And just to point out as well, there's no changes in the ownership or the other day-to-day operations. So this is really just a change of manager. Kathy, who is the general manager at that location, will be now listed on the alcohol license. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Counselor. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Again, I've reviewed the application. Everything seems to be in order. So at this time, I have no questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Guanasso. Commissioner Osina?
I think John touched on everything that I would have asked in terms of the experience of the incoming manager and affiliation with other restaurants, etc., and his past experience. So I'm satisfied. I have no questions.
Very good. Councilor Novoselsky, I see you have your hand raised. Do you want to speak?
On behalf of the application, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, John, Kathy, welcome to Revere again. And
Thank you.
This is in my ward, right across from the old Suffolk Downs. And I have no objections to it. I welcome them and look forward to going in there. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much, Counselor. We'll close this section of the hearing. Are there any other proponents? Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of this license change or change of manager? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Is there anybody opposed? Is there anybody opposed to the change of manager at Staybridge Suites Holiday Inn Express Revere? I don't see or hear any. We'll close this section. I'll open it up to a discussion and or motions. If one of my fellow commissioners would like to do either, feel free.
I'll make a motion to approve if there's no other questions.
I'll second the motion.
Very good. The application for change of manager is approved. The application for Colwyn Management, Inc., DBA Staybridge Suites, Holiday Inn Express Revere, Catherine Marie Cucciello, manager, for a change of manager for an all-alcohol in-holder license. That license will be changed from Jonathan Moore to Catherine Marie Cucciello. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Very good.
Good luck, guys.
License is approved.
Thank you.
Item number 4, Ocean Grove Market, Inc., 158 Shirley Ave.
I
This
think
is,
that's Orange Grove, if I'm not mistaken.
what did I say?
Motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're too close to the water.
Yeah, that's what it is. I moved down by the beach, so now everything's ocean. Orange Grove Market, Inc., 158 Shirley Avenue. Hannah Sharu is the manager. This is an application for a change of license category. The application of Orange Grove Market, Inc., 158 Shirley Avenue, for a change of license category to an all-package store from a wine and malt package store. Is there someone here on behalf of Orange Grove Market, Inc.?
We hope there is.
We do have someone present. I'm actually having trouble promoting them. So just one moment.
Thank you.
All right, I've allowed her to speak because I can't seem to promote her to attendees. So
I'm in the middle of a meeting. Can I call you back after that?
Just in case.
Thanks.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
You have too many devices going at once.
Yeah, you and Peter have to leave this. If you guys are near the same room, you have to go to a different room.
Okay. I thought you.
Okay. Ms. Sharu, is that how you pronounce your name? Sharu?
My name is Hannah Chow.
Chow, okay.
I
Thank
am
you.
the Orange Grove owner. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for asking. The reason that we'd like to speak to you is about this change of license that you're applying for. Can you tell us what your plans are for the Orange Grove Market?
Okay. Yeah, so, you have
Peter's
to,
muted.
because it's like, it's a lot and it just happened. So whenever we do like the claim, it literally takes time.
He's Peter. You're muted.
They're doing it.
Peter, you're muted.
Whenever they.
Okay, you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yep.
Good.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, now we can. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Hannah had been running Orange Grove for 11 years. He have just beer and wine license. Now she got more client request her to get all liquor license. And I believe the liquor license will help her to help the neighborhood community to get more service.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I think he needs to identify himself for the record. and address.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Commissioner. I appreciate
My
that.
name is Peter Lim. I'm at 471 Western Nelson Lanes, Massachusetts. And I am Hannah's accountant. And I'm
Okay,
helping her on any way that I can help her.
okay. Thank you very much. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions regarding this application?
I just have one. Do you have another full liquor license in the city at this time?
No, we don't. Only have beer and wine license, no food license. No other alcohol license.
Is this your only business in the city?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. And she said she's been there 15 years. Who,
Okay, entonces dígale a ellos que te den mi nombre para
excuse me? I didn't hear what you said. Okay, that was my concern, how many licenses there were in the city, because there are quite a few on the Ave. Package store licenses, so I'm just wondering why you would want another one there. Put another one, because we've just transferred one down by the old bagel bin. So, you know, there's a lot of competition there.
Yeah.
Commissioner,
Yes.
do you have any questions?
I don't.
Okay, I will close this section of the hearing. Are there any proponents? Is there anybody that would like to speak on behalf of this application for a change of license category? Yes, Councilor Novoselsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, thank you for this opportunity. I've known Hannah for as long as she's been there. I even knew the prior owner over 15 years ago. They run a wonderful business there, and they have had a beer and wine and malt license for a long time. And with the increase of residents in the neighborhood, they're looking to expand on their income, basically, and their opportunity for people to go have a choice of where they want to go. There actually is only one all-alcoholic license on Shirley Ave, and that is the one that was mentioned down the next block near the train station. This is across from the municipal lot on Shirley Ave, and I have no objections with them, looking to expand their business. So, hopefully you'll give it to them, and I wish them luck if you do. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Councilor. We'll close this section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to the application for change of license category? Yes. Is that someone who is opposed?
Hi, this is Vani.
Yes.
I'm a proponent.
Barney, I need your full name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Vani Hood. I am a resident at 44 Dehan Street. And I am speaking in favor of this application.
Okay.
I'm a resident in the neighborhood and one of the patrons of Orange Grove that would support the all liquor package, just as another variety in the neighborhood. So I just wanted to hop on and speak in favor of Orange Grove. I also know that as a community member who's held a number of community events in Shirley Ave over the last couple of years, I often go over to Orange Grove to request for donations in support of community events. And the owner has contributed water bottles and snacks over to our community events that we've had in the Shirley Ave neighborhood for the last couple of years. So, I'm just translating this quickly into Khmer. Nhom dạy cho nó mình nhom chua vani mình ở school សលេងប៉ិនមុខខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ស្គាល់ហើយខ្ញុំពីដើមធ្លាប់ទៅសួរសំទឹកពេលណាមានកម្មវិធីថ្ងៃនេះខ្ញុំចង់ជួយនិយាយជំនុំមីងឲ្យគ្រប់គ្រងថាគេឲ្យនឹងឲ្យ license ទៅមីងអរគុណច្រើន Thank you
Thank you very much, Vani. I appreciate that. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed? I don't see or hear anybody, so we'll close that section as well and open it up to a discussion, questions, and or motion. I have one question before I turn it over to my fellow commissioners. Will you be selling nips? Is that something that you plan on selling there?
What's the nip?
A nip is a small alcohol bottle. It's probably a few inches long, maybe, and it's very small. They cost anywhere from $1.75 to $3, depending upon the alcohol. But they have come under scrutiny lately because they are a menace as far as the neighborhood goes and trash and things like that. So, you know, that would be a concern that I would have, that would just be contributing to a situation that is kind of bad, actually. You know, when I think about it.
No nip. We're gonna just do for the family the big bottle. No small nip bottle. Yes.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Lim. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions.
Very good. Does anybody want to make a motion on this or discuss it further?
I'd move to approve the application for a change in license category from a wine and malt package store to a all alcohol package store.
Very good. I'll second the motion. And that application for a change of license category is approved. The application of Orange Grove Market, Inc., 158 Shirley Avenue, for a change of license category to all alcohol package store from wine and malt package store is approved. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Item number 5, 388 Broadway, LLC, DBA Volare at 388 Broadway. Cecilia Maya is the manager. This is an application for an annual one-day change of hours. The application of 388 Broadway, LLC, DBA Volare, for an annual one-day change of hours to open.
Can you mute your phone? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Osina. For an annual one-day change of hours to open at 8 a.m. on each Thanksgiving Day when the Thanksgiving Day high school football game is played in Revere. Is there anybody here on behalf of 388 Broadway, LLC?
Yes, I am here, Chairman. I'm Nick Molason.
And your address for the record, please, sir?
So it's 143 Lantern Road in Revere.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
And
sir.
what are your plans for this 8 a.m. opening?
It's planned, it's something we've done in the past when we first opened, to open up for there's a group of alumni that like to get together before the game, and we opened up when we first opened 9 years ago to give complimentary breakfast, and then some guys stay and watch the game actually on Revere TV at the restaurant. So we want to open up at 8 o'clock to be able to serve food, complimentary breakfast for some of the guys and any patrons that want to come.
Very good. Thank you very much. Are there any questions from my fellow commissioners?
Well, I have one question. There won't be any alcohol served at 8 o'clock. Am I correct?
Well, there will be, yeah. That was one of the reasons for wanting to open early, because there's another establishment they would normally go to in another city where they would drink starting that early. So we did want to serve alcohol starting at 8 o'clock.
Well, I don't know what the ABCC, what their recommendation was on that. I think we've gone over that before by serving alcohol at 8 o'clock in the morning. What clientele are you expecting to come at 8 o'clock in the morning?
There's a group of alumni, commissioner, that gets together every year before the Thanksgiving game. There's about 20 or 30 guys that have been getting together for years. And when we first opened, they used to come to Volare, but then at some point, the games obviously the games aren't in Revere every year, so they stopped at some point. And then with COVID and everything last year, we didn't have anything. Obviously, we didn't ask because there was nothing. But there's a group of guys that come every year.
Okay, I was under the impression, that's what I was concerned about. I was under the impression you were having a breakfast for the football team.
No.
The High's football team.
No, it's a group of alumni and customers that they want to come here before they go to the game.
Okay, well, thank you for clearing that up. I wasn't too sure when they said it was football players, alumni. I didn't know the age group.
Yeah, no.
So we're talking well over 21.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
Nick, have you served liquor that early before in the past?
When we first opened, we were opening up at, it's always been, I believe it's 11 o'clock, but I believe when we first opened back in 2012 and 13, we had opened up early on Thanksgiving morning. We had gotten permission, I believe, back then to open up. I forget if it was 8 or 9, to be honest with you, Commissioner.
Mm-hmm. Did you serve alcohol that early?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
So this is something you've done in the past, and it's going to essentially be in line with what you've done in the past and never had any issues?
Correct. We just haven't done it for the last 5 or 6 years. The last few years we haven't done it. So we want to start doing it again.
Right.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I read the email from Councilor Keith, who's in support. I'm not sure if the chairman planned to acknowledge that, but I just want to know for the record that I did read his email, and he is in support of the opening of this. And for that reason, I certainly would move to approve it when that time comes, Mr. Commissioner.
Very good. Thank you very much, Commissioner Osina. We'll close this section of the hearing. Are there any proponents? I see Councilor Novoselsky has his hand raised.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, through you to Nick and the rest of the commissioners, Ira Novoselsky, 53 Delhorn Street, Ward 2 Council. I've been involved with the Revere High School football since 1963. I work at the stadium, and all these gentlemen and ladies, if there are any, that attend this breakfast, we're all former football players. And I've seen them all come up through the ranks, all reasonable people. And I would have no objection to this early opening this fun time. Thank you.
Very good. And as Commissioner Osina noted, the counselor for that ward has weighed in and also come out in favor of the approval of this. So we will close this section. And are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to this application for an annual one-day change of hours? I don't see or hear anybody. We will close that section. Is there anybody that has any questions? Any of my fellow commissioners have any additional questions, or would you like to move for a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I would second that motion.
Very good. The application for a annual one-day change of hours for 388 Broadway LLC, DBA Volare, for an annual one-day change of hours to open at 8 a.m. on each Thanksgiving Day when the Thanksgiving Day high school football game is played in Revere. That license and application is approved.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck with the event.
Thank you, sir.
Item number 6. This is a late addition to the agenda. The City of Revere Parks and Recreation, 150 Beach Street. Michael Hinojosa is the event manager. This is an application of the City of Revere Parks and Recreation for a one-day license for entertainment and food trucks. The license to be exercised on Broadway near Pleasant Street and Cheever Street in the environs of City Hall and the American Legion Building on Saturday, December 4th, 2021, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The entertainment will consist of rides, games, and outdoor movies. The expected attendance is 500. The rain date is Sunday, December 5th, 2021. Is there someone here? I see Mr. Hinojosa is here. Would someone like to speak on behalf of the Revere Parks and Recreation and explain your event, please?
Sure, I can speak. Jennifer Duggan, Program Coordinator. I work for Michael.
Thank you, Ms. Duggan.
The event is our annual tree lighting event, the city's event that we do every year. This year, we're just adding a little extra food truck vendors and pretty much doing the same thing with, we've done the movie every year. We've done the bouncy houses, Pictures with Santa. So really the only addition is the food trucks.
Okay. And the entertainment, is it going to be music or is the entertainment the bouncy house and such?
No, it's so entertainment wise, we'll have a DJ playing music and there are carolers that sing Christmas carols.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions regarding this event?
No, it's a great event. We have it every year. I look forward to it. So no, I have no questions.
Very good. Commissioner Osina?
I reviewed the application. I had the honor of attending in the past, and I think it's a great event. Looking forward to it.
Very good. We'll close that section. Are there any proponents? Is there anybody that would like to speak on behalf of this application? Yes, Councilor Novoselsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Michael, Jennifer. Can I remind me of the date again, please?
The date of this event is December 4th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. with a rain date of December 5th. I assume the rain date hours would be the same from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Well, I've attended this every single year, and it's a great event. Michael and his staff go beyond everything to make things work for the whole city of Revere. And I'm proud to say that I'm in favor of this. I look forward to it, and we'll have a good time that night. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. We'll close this section of the hearing and ask for any opponents. Is there anybody opposed to the lighting of the Christmas tree? I don't see or hear anyone. I'll close that section of the hearing and open it up to a general discussion of questions and/or a motion by my fellow commissioners.
And again, I have no questions. It's a great event. I look forward to it. So I have no questions, and I'd be honored to make a motion to approve.
Very
And I
good.
second that motion.
Very good. The application for a one-day entertainment and food truck license for the City of Revere Parks and Recreation. The license to be exercised on Broadway between Pleasant Street and Cheever Street in the environs of City Hall and the American Legion Building on Saturday, December 5th, 2021, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is approved. The entertainment to consist of rides, games, outdoor movies, DJ, with expected attendance of 500. The rain date of Sunday, December 5th, 2021, between 5 and 8 p.m. is also approved. Thank you very much, and good luck with your event.
Good luck. Thank you.
Everybody. Thank you.
Item number 7, Cinco de Mayo 2, DBA Pancho Villa Mexican Grill, 124 Centennial Ave. Madeline Rodriguez is the manager. This is a hearing into excessive noise and disruptions to the neighborhood. I see Madeline Rodriguez's name is up. Ms. Rodriguez, do you have your camera? There you go. Thank you. I'm wondering if you could explain to us what you're doing there on the weekends that has caused a increase in the complaint level of Pancho Villa.
Hi, so my name is Madeline Rodriguez. The manager now for Cinco de Mayo Mexican restaurant. I have been taking over after my father passed away. When we started opening back up after COVID, we tried our best with the noise. We were starting to hear that there was a lot of complaint about noise. So what I did is ask for detail to help manage that noise from the outside. But that was something I can't control from the outside. As much as I want to, it's really hard for me to control certain people. The noise inside, it's not bad. We have 3 speakers that are hanging from the corners that are, I think it's just bothering one of our neighbors. And I know it's that one neighbor that's calling every weekend for a noise complaint. We have tried to lower it down as much as we can, and you could barely hear it from the outside. You could ask the officers that have worked with us at the restaurant. But ever since we were trying to sell the business, and then my mother decided not to sell to Jamie Russo, we started getting all these little things popping out of nowhere. We started having health inspectors. We've never had health inspectors come into the establishment for 15 years that we've been open. We've never had the alcohol and beverage from Boston to come in and check for IDs. I have been very strict with the license. I have been very, very strict. I don't sell to minors. I don't have minors after 11 o'clock because I know they're going to try to drink. I have detail. I have 2 doors from the main entrance where when one door opens, the other one is closed. So when you come out from the front of the building, you can't hear any noise coming out of the establishment. I know that there's something going on, and it's just not me. I know a couple of my neighbors are actually been having some complaints even on their behalves because something about parking lot. I've been trying my best to control all of this. I go outside myself, and I'm a small girl. I am very small, and I tried my best to kick everybody out and make sure there's no one outside after 2 o'clock. I'm very strict in closing. Last call, 1:30. 1:40, we shut off the music. 1:45, we start kicking everybody out. At 2 o'clock, 5 minutes before 2 or at 2 o'clock, my gates are all closed. I'm very strict with that. And I'm actually looking into a contractor right now to remodel the establishment now that I'm taking over. And I'm going to actually remodel this establishment because I have something very beautiful inside the establishment. From the outside, it looks just like a simple Spanish bar, but it's actually a good environment from the inside because we stopped serving food until 1 a.m. And customers are having fun. They're having their drinks, their margaritas. Our margaritas are the best in the establishment. We have DJ, which is putting music for people to dance. And it's just a good environment inside. I barely have any fights. We'll probably have one occasional one that wants to cause a problem, but I keep it into control and I take action right away. Other than that, I have no idea why is this just going on after just recently in these couple of months. And it's just every weekend is calling and calling and calling. And I have the report here of calls that on a Monday, which I'm closed on a Monday. My establishment is not open on Mondays and Sundays. And I have noise complaints on Mondays and Sundays, and I am not open. On Thursdays, the music, I probably had one call when I was actually there. An officer came inside and saw that I had no customers that night. They said noise complaint. There was no music because I had no music and it was just me and the girls. So it's just something's going against my establishment now. And I'm trying to take care of this establishment ever since COVID. We have been struggling with COVID, even since with my mother trying to sell the establishment and trying to get help from the city to see if we could get the money to have to pay bills. They denied her the money because she was trying to sell. So I had to lend her money. So now that she's finally open and having the business running, she's trying to pay off my debt. So now that I'm taking management, I'm taking control, I'm trying to do more of an open area, more lighting. And if I need to soundproof even more, I will do it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I think you've explained your position very well. I do have to say that I believe that the police chief went and listened for music and could hear the bass from your place over on Shirley Avenue.
Yes.
So that would seem to be, somewhat excessive. I don't, I wasn't there, so I don't know, but I will take the chief at his word that that's the situation, and he thought it was loud. So the additional soundproofing may be something that you might want to look into sooner rather than later.
That's what I'm actually doing now. I'm actually looking into the contractors now, but before I want to start throwing down walls, I want to look into the windows to replace the windows, and then I start putting the sheetrocks because I don't see the point of throwing down walls and then putting the windows later. But everything's going into place how I'm actually talking to the contractor now. And that day on that Saturday that the sheriff did go, I was actually working inside the bar. So I wasn't able to be outside and handling the situation, going in and out like I always do, to check the noise, to make sure everybody's quiet outside. I had to work the bar because my bartender never showed up and we were busy. So when the officers came in, that's when I had to stop serving my drinks or attending my customers inside the bar and go outside. And I took the DJ outside with me so he could realize that he was a little off more than what he was supposed to.
Okay.
You're the owner, Madeline, right?
My mother is the owner.
So are you the on-site manager? Are you listed as the manager?
Yes.
Okay.
But now me and my mother are trying to work together, and I'm actually going to be part ownership with her.
Okay, well, I have to say, I have very close friends who live in that neighborhood. And I have to be honest with you, I've spoke with them, and they kind of say you're running a very nice establishment there.
Yes.
And it's very far and few between that they said they have heard the music. So I personally, close neighbors of yours, don't seem to have any complaints.
No.
But I will say, I question you saying that you're closed on Sunday and Monday, and yet they're calling, complaining about the loud music. I mean, it's a possibility somebody else is playing loud music. The houses are close there. But I still think it's your responsibility. Even if it's one, you have got to stay. The music should stay contained to your building. But I'm going to be honest with you, people I've talked to, and I honestly, I think Ira knows that I was brought up in that area. I know a lot of people. I haven't really heard complaints, and I think, you know, the best you can do is you've got to tone it down. You do have to have someone out in the parking lot making sure they all get out of there quietly. This is a problem that happens at every establishment. It's very hard to clean out the parking lots when they all leave at the same time. And I think maybe you're serving, maybe your music should go off by 1. You know, 1 o'clock, you know, people are just about done, your kitchen's closing. So maybe at 1 o'clock, but I have to be honest with you. I did a lot of research on this. I've had time. I haven't had anyone really complain. I would like to hear from the Ward 2 council because he doesn't live far from there, and maybe he disagrees with me. I don't know.
Councilor Novoselsky, do you want to weigh in on this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ira Novoselsky, Ward 2 Council, 53 D Home Street. Ladies and gentlemen, I live up the street, maybe about 100 yards, and I'm kind of far away from the noise. And I have been getting some complaints from some of the neighbors, some of the ones next door, some across the street, and it's way before any thought of your interactions with Mr. Russo. So I don't believe it's him that's doing this because he's not around to hear these things. And I know there are immediate neighbors, abutting neighbors that have been complaining about this. And it's not once or twice. Once it has been happening over the last couple of months, honestly. But one of the biggest complaints, other than the bass of the music that the chief heard over in Shirley Ave, which is basically right behind your establishment. The biggest complaint I get is when you're closing, around that 1:30, 2 o'clock when people are leaving. Of course, some of them have had a few drinks, they say, and they tend to raise their voices. That kind of, they're waiting for rides, they're waiting for Uber, where's my this ride and where's my that ride, and who after you think you are, and all this kind of stuff going on. And also, too, there's a lot of the urination going on after you close in the parking lot behind the building, sometimes in front of the building when they're waiting. I think you have to be more observant of what's going on around your establishment. I know there was an issue in the parking lot itself. There's not all of it is yours, but I think you have to be more observant and have let people know that they have to be more observant and be nice to the neighborhood and stop and making those kinds of noises and screaming out loud. So that's it from my end. Thank you.
Well, that's what I'm actually doing. I'm basically outside all the time. I go outside with the security. I go outside with detail when I have them. And by 2 o'clock, 2:10, it's probably the latest that I have people outside trying to get into the cars. But I'm outside actually those weekends, and I'm pushing everybody out. And I'm actually outside, and I don't leave back inside the restaurant until I see everybody gone. If I don't see that everybody's gone, I do not go back inside. I stay outside. I make sure that my customers are very friendly, very quiet. I do occasionally have, I would say, the younger generation that don't want to listen. But that's when I start getting the security, going, tell them to stay quiet. I'm trying really hard to have the customers lowering down the music. I'm trying to work with my neighbors. I'm very friendly, and I've been very hard on the door and outside. I'm trying my best and controlling the noise as much as I can, but there's so much I can do. And the officers, because they don't want to, they push them, but sometimes they get rude. Some of my Spanish people, we go crazy sometimes, but we all understand, and I actually talk to them, and they're very friendly, and then they understand, and they're like, okay, we're sorry. They keep it down. By 2:10, everybody's gone out of the establishment. Everybody's gone from the parking lot. Everybody's gone from in front of the building. The urination, that I have no idea how sometimes that even happens. I do see customers walking everywhere, so I can't walk behind everyone and making sure that they're not doing that. But I am trying to keep in control of that also. I see someone trying to go in the alleyway. Hey, what are you doing? So I'm very strict with all of that. And the base, I did take out the base because I saw that the base was a little bit harsher this time. And I actually disconnected it and I removed the base already. So I just have these 3 big speakers, which I'm going to be moving around to spread out the music because it's just on that one side of the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying my best to work out with all these issues.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Madeline, what days are you open? Because I thought you were open Thursday through Sunday night.
No, I'm actually open Tuesdays through Saturdays right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. The other suggestion I could make is I know you're depending on Revere Police to come down, and sometimes they can't, and sometimes they're afraid to make moves. Maybe you have to think about some private security.
Oh, I have my private security. I have a security system also.
Not a system, but I mean a person.
Yes, I have 2 security guards there helping the officers. And they're trying also to start telling everybody, you need to move. You can't be putting the music too loud. Stay quiet. Did you order your taxi? They're like, oh, yes. Okay, we're just waiting. We all stay outside until everybody leaves. We do not go back inside the establishment until everyone is out of the property.
Madeline, do you have security cameras on that facility?
Yes, I do.
Are they pointing out in the parking lot and in the areas where people would tend to congregate or urinate?
Certain areas, yes. On the side of the building where is between my next door neighbors, the building right next door, I don't have cameras there. That's actually like a small little alleyway between the 2 buildings. So I don't have any cameras inside there.
Okay.
But I do have 3, 4, 5 cameras outside.
All right, thank you. Does anybody else want to speak on this matter?
Mr. Chairman,
I'm trying to speak on something.
Okay, there he goes. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, name and address, please.
Councilor George Rotundo, 9 DeHone Street. I've been out there at all hours. I have not seen you out there. I've got video. I posted on Facebook. I have video on my phone. I've had the side mirror of my car ripped down by patrons over at Cinco de Mayo. I've had patrons from your place urinate there. Yes, you do have private security and so forth, but not all the times are they acting outside. I didn't see people push people along out there. I'm out there picking up bottles that your patrons bring out from your bar. I've got video of that as well. And I mean, the music, I can play, I can put it up on Facebook and play the songs that played at your restaurant. My neighbors that live on the 2nd floor have a 5-year-old son who literally have gotten WhatsApp texts from him at 1, at 2, at 3, at 12, where this young child is waking up scared, not to mention my daughter, who's now 3 months old, waking up in the middle of the night, not to mention myself. And, granted, I live literally 10 feet from there. I seen you out there videotaping the workers in the back probably about a month ago. That was me that was speaking to you, saying I have video of everything that's going on. And quite frankly, there have been people that have shot up in cars in your parking lot that had to get Narcan. And I've given the Narcan. And they've refused medical care. And the chief of police went down there recently at 12 o'clock at night. He had caught me and told me that he himself went down there and seen what was going on. I don't know if he spoke tonight. But I can tell you that I'm getting sick of it. And this is a huge problem. It's not just me. It's Elaine. It's Jimmy. It's Felix. I can name the people in the neighborhood that are upset about this. If you were at the council chambers, I'd have them come up. Some of them not as tech savvy. In fact, I'm just getting out of a doctor's appointment.
George, can you email Maggie that those videos that you're referencing?
They're on my Facebook page. I will pull them off and pull them on.
Well, they were on your phone. You said you have them on your phone.
Yep. Like I said, I will pull them off and put them on. I'll send them.
It's not possible that you could say that I'm not there when I'm actually there not every night, but I'm there mostly on the weekends. On the weekends, I'm there trying to push everybody out. I'm there all the time. You could see me screaming. You could see me.
Ira, have you not seen me pick up bottles on the street?
That I cannot control with the bottles. Customers,
Well, from your restaurant.
they're not coming out of my restaurant. They're not.
If I see guys coming out of your restaurant with beer bottles, I'm a liar then.
No, they're not coming out of.
You obviously have videotape. Then produce the videotape over the last 7 days.
I am at the door checking, making sure that nobody's coming out with any drinks, any beer bottles.
Well, I've seen differently, and so has my neighbors.
No, that is not possible.
All right, thank you.
Have a nice day.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak on this matter?
Yes.
Yeah, hey. Go ahead, Bonnie.
Vanny, please speak. Your name and address, please, again.
Yes, my name is Vani Hewitt. I'm the resident at 44 Deacon Street, which is down the street from Cinco de Mayo Pancho Villa Mexican Grill. Like Councilor Novoselsky, I am down the street, so it's hard to hear the noise. But I must admit, I am a patron of Cinco de Mayo. And before I share more, I wanted to acknowledge that Cinco de Mayo is a small-owned, immigrant-owned business that is the gem in Shirley Ave and in the city of Revere. It really kind of hails the history of the restaurant, hails kind of what we appreciate in regards of why Revere is so great in the diversity. Cinco de Mayo is a brand. They make tacos. And so you see them in our local convenience stores and Market Basket. They're based out of Chelsea. Having a restaurant from that business in Shirley Ave is pretty neat because Commissioner Osena, if you like margaritas, you would really love Cinco de Mayo's tongue taco. I know I said it, tongue taco. So I want to just acknowledge the food is great. I am also an advocate of small businesses and supporting local businesses. I have been in front of the commission before to promote creative strategy around supporting our small businesses in Revere. And so I want to acknowledge that I want to pay attention here. There is a change in manager at Cinco de Mayo. It sounds like Madeline is working really hard to fill the gaps after her father had passed, and she's making some amends towards maybe soundproofing. That as an advocate for small businesses, that this is an opportunity where we can help a local Revere business. But as a patron, I've also witnessed the strict code. I have gone there, it's not as frequent, but I've gone there where I've stayed until the end of the night, and I've witnessed security guards walk folks out of the bar when they have been unruly. In my time, not so frequent. And at the end of the night, this is how I actually met Madeline until today in face. She is very concerned about how the bar reputation is seen by neighbors and doesn't want to have a disruption in our neighborhood. And she is actively moving us out, closing the doors. And that's how I actually met her. One night I was late and I stayed, and she, when the bars closed, the light was on, everybody was moving. Her and her team moved people out. And you're right, you cannot control patrons, how they act, or what once they leave your establishment. I will just commend as a patron that she has a team that works internally to avoid unruly behavior, and then outside to make sure that we leave so that the business can go on and continue to go forward and be part of the economy
in Revere. So I've witnessed this, and I don't know who's carrying out bottles outside the establishment. I know that when I leave that establishment, there is a security inside at the door looking at us as we leave. And so I know I wouldn't walk out with a cup. I wouldn't walk out with a bottle. I'm not sure how people are doing it. I don't also put the onus on the restaurant to make sure that is not happening outside. I do put that onus when they're in the restaurant. And it looks like, from my experience, that there is detail that is keeping an eye out for any disruption. So I want to just come on today to support this small immigrant-owned business. I think that this is an opportunity to work together. I don't want to see them being punished for excessive noise. When I'm hearing Madeline talk about opportunities in which she's trying to soundproof, it was nice to hear that she took the DJ out to have him hear what the sound looks like. That sounds comforting. That sounds like they're paying attention, because they don't want to disturb the neighborhood peace. I just don't want to see Cinco be punished for excessive noise or disruption to the neighborhood peace without sharing that they haven't been disturbing neighborhood peace from my perspective, and I only can speak for myself, and that it would be ashamed if they feel like they can't be supported by the city and have to close business because this is, I think, approaching it from penalizing instead of working together is the approach that we're going to take. Then if I were a business owner, I wouldn't want to stay in Revere. So I apologize for taking that much time. I just want to sincerely support the business, but also just share from my perspective as a patron and as an advocate for small business that we work towards with Cinco to support an environment where both neighbors and business can thrive together, because after all, we are living in a pandemic. We shouldn't be closed in. And if we seek recreation, that it is enjoyable and that there are affordable places like Cinco to go to.
Okay,
thank you for your time.
With all due respect, let's be clear about this too, that Cinco de Mayo is
You went mute, Counselor. Thank you very much, Fanny, for your perspective on that.
With that said, with all due respect, Cinco de Mayo's basically done events for projects that Vani has been in over here at San Luis Square. So let's put that out there.
Listen, Counselor, we will let someone else speak for a moment, please.
Yep, of course.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf or would like to speak about this situation? I see that there are other people in the queue.
Yeah, well, I'd like to just, I respect the previous speaker. And I think the City of Revere, yes, the City of Revere welcomes small businesses. We help small businesses, and that I'm very proud of my board for doing that. And I agree with you say they're trying to run a business, but we have taxpayers that deserve their peace and quiet also. When I have something like this come before me, and I know there's an easy correction, we lower our music. That's very easy to do. We lower our music. We know the people that do come in your establishments, that some of them are unruly and maybe a little with their lip, so I wouldn't allow them in there. But I think my first concern as a member of the License Commission is the peace and quiet of the neighborhood. I live near a very small establishment myself, and they've been able to control it. It's been quiet. So I think at this point, I think it's things that are all correctable, that should be corrected. And you shouldn't hear any music. Once you step outside, you should not hear any music coming from that building. And again, I do appreciate you live right next door to apartment houses. You are in a large neighborhood. So I think these things can be corrected. I think you're working in the right direction, but I have to take it that, you know, the neighbors have to be considered first, only because you can correct these problems. And from what I hear from everyone, you do run a very nice establishment. Food's great. It's just your music and controlling the people leaving the establishment. So, you know, I hope you work with them. I hope you correct it, and I think you can. And I don't think it's that big of a deal to do at this point.
That's what I'm actually trying to do. I'm trying to correct all this. I'm actually trying to work with the neighborhood. I want everyone to come into my establishment and feel like they could have a good time in there with their friends and have their drinks and have food and to be able to dance at the same time. Because in my generation, I'm 37 and I want peace and quiet. I don't want just dancing all night. I want to have some drinks. I want to have a good time with my friends, with the family. And that's what I want. That's what I'm trying to run. I'm not trying to just run a bar. That's my old dad's time. And now that I'm taking over, I'm trying to correct all this. I'm trying to open it up.
I have just one question. I'm sorry to interrupt you. When was the last report that someone reported noise coming from the establishment?
On the 5th of this month.
On the 5th of this month. Okay. So since you've gotten the notice from the License Commission, you've been able to quiet it down so there hasn't been any more complaints.
I've actually cut down more than what we're used to having our music.
Well, then that's what you should continue with.
No, and I'm actually going to continue like that until I get this whole situated with the fixing the walls, making it more soundproof. So I'm trying my best to lower it down as much as I can. I already took my DJ out and I'm showing him every time I go out now, ever since then, I'm going out with the DJ, making sure that nobody can hear the music. You could probably still hear just very small amount. And when you go inside, you barely hear it inside, but it's just those speakers that are right there in the corner that are just the sound.
Okay.
Out.
Well, it sounds like you're able to correct it because you have for the last few weeks. So It sounds like you know what you have to do, and I would advise you to do that, keep up what you are doing now. Since we haven't had complaints, after you get notified, you know what you have to do.
Yes, and I will work very hard on that, and I'm trying very hard to work with my customers outside of the establishment. But you will see me on the weekends, especially on the weekends. I do not miss Friday and Saturdays. I am there at all time.
Okay. Thank you.
Manuel Guerrero, Chairman.
How's it going? My name is Manuel Guerrero. I live on 17 Waverly Avenue in Revere. I'm also neighbor that lives right down the street. I'm not necessarily in the immediate vicinity, but I live maybe 100 to 150 yards away. Now, Cinco de Mayo has been a cornerstone of our community and a vital meeting place for a lot of the hardworking people in Ward 2. And, they've serviced our area for over 15 years. And so it's a little strange to know that they've been there for 15 years. And in the last couple of months, the rise in noise complaints have gotten worse, right? I feel that with 15 years of experience, you get to learn how to best serve your patrons and keep the peace of your neighborhood. And so I think that clearly we are seeing that the owners are working the best they can to mitigate the disruptive conduct that may come from their business. Obviously, we can't expect owners to completely get rid of some of this conduct. You can't control people to that point. But as I mentioned before, they are working really hard to try and get to that point with the resources they have and the best they can. We all are well aware of the fact that small businesses have suffered great losses during the pandemic. And I think that we should be working to support them as best we can so that they can succeed and bring in the revenue we need in our city. So I'm here to advocate and support Cinco de Mayo as a neighbor. And thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much.
Last call, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Councilor Novoselsky.
Mr. Chairman, I think we've heard a lot of both sides tonight, and I think at this point, I would like to see you just table it for now and put them on hold and see what happens over the next month for the next meeting, see what kind of complaints come in. I mean, serious, legitimate complaints that the police have to really respond to it and, make some kind of reports on what happened. So, I would think, put this on hold and let's see what happens in the future. And, I'm always supportive of all businesses in Shirley Ave area, and let's see what happens over the next month. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your suggestion, Councilor. Is Councilor Rotundo still on the call?
I do not see him.
I don't believe he is.
All right. Well, I guess at this point, we have kind of reached a consensus about what the issues are. As far as the music and the trash and some of the patrons after they leave the place. And so it seems like you have a handle on it, or at least you're trying to get a handle on it. And it does seem to me that you are working, or at least willing to work with the community to make sure that this is not a disruptive place. I don't know how my other commissioners feel, but I feel as if you are trying to do the right thing, and it sounds like you have a plan in place to at least deal with the noise. One of the suggestions I could make is probably, have your security people be a little bit more vigilant when people are leaving, so that they're not putting bottles under their coat and slipping out the door, that kind of stuff, which I know it's very difficult to police that, but it is something that would be a violation if people are taking alcohol out of your restaurant. And so that would be something that, I'd want to see you kind of try to deal with a little bit with with your onboard security. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any other questions, suggestions, or remedies here?
Well, I'm in agreement with you, Commissioner. I think she's on the right track. I think she means well and understands that this board does have to address any calls that we get or violations, and continue what you're doing now. What you're doing now is working. So I agree with Commissioner Salovich that maybe just a strong warning here that the neighbors do want their peace and quiet at night. They do want to sleep. And I would, honestly, I think 1 o'clock the music should go off. That would be my opinion. 1 o'clock the music goes off, people start calming down. They finish their dinner, they're on their way. But you seem like you're going in the right direction, and I hope so. I wish you well. But for me, I feel a very strong warning here. If more complaints do come through, that we cannot complaints when you're closed. Legitimate complaints, we will have to address them again. So I wish you luck.
Commissioner Rosina?
I heard everyone's testimony, and it sounds like this restaurant is trending in the right direction. Whatever reservations I had about the complaints, I'm satisfied with Madeline's representation about the steps she's taking. And I support what you've proposed we do at this particular time. But I do think that they're definitely trending in the right direction in terms of her management and the corrective measures she's taking to ensure that the complaints continue to die down. So
thank you. All right. So I think we have a consensus among the commissioners that we're going to issue a warning on this, and we would like to, see you continue doing what you're doing as far as trying to mitigate this and to try and alleviate some of these problems. And we'll hopefully work with that. I wish Councilor Rotundo had stayed on so that we could kind of include him in this final process. But I think it's a solution that we can all live with. I do have to tell you, though, if the situation gets worse or continues, you're going to have to come back in here, and next time, it may not be a slap on the wrist. So you need to be aware that this is something that you need to deal with. And it seems that you are, and I'm glad that you are. And I hope that, your remedies work. So at this point, I think we can conclude this hearing with a letter of warning on the noise and the other complaints that were registered. And that's the way I think my fellow commissioners and I would like to handle this.
I'm in agreement with that.
Thank you very much. So I guess we'll conclude this hearing. We will issue a warning letter, which will be placed. You'll receive a copy, and we'll keep a copy on file. If there are other events, other complaints, we will address them as they arise.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Excuse me, I have Councilor Rotundo back.
Okay, well, let's hear from the counselor.
Okay, just one moment.
Are you going to reopen the hearing? Is that it?
Yeah, I will reopen the hearing and allow Councilor Rotundo to weigh in on what our solution was, and hopefully, as a resident of the area and someone who, is directly impacted by this, that, I just want to make sure that that the area residents whom he is in contact with would be on board with this type of a solution.
I am on board with your solution. More importantly, Commissioners Guanausi and Oceana, if you check your messenger, I was unable to unload it to Maggie, the video. I sent one of them over to you via Facebook. I'm trying to get the others off of it and try to transform it. But that said, I have many, and more importantly, I can go through the litany, but I respect your decision. I don't want to shut her down, and I do not want to shut down Cinco de Mayo. I've been in there. I've been in the restaurant, and at the end of the day, my point of view is different, and I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to let the commission do what the commission does, and I perfectly respect it, and I wish you all well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rotundo. So we will close the hearing. We will keep the letter of warning as we had indicated previously, and I hope everybody has a nice day. Thank you very much. The hearing is closed. We'll move to the next item, excuse me, which is item number 8, the Revere Lodge Loyal Order of Moose 1272, 470 Broadway. Wesley Clemens is the manager. This is a hearing into the status of the license in light of the club closure and questions of control of licensed premises. Is there anybody from the Moose present? Since there is no more Moose, I doubt there's any Mooses there.
There does not seem to be anyone here.
Very good. Well, that'll make this a short hearing. Since the Moose is out of business, no longer a functioning facility, I'm not sure what our role or our remedies are. I mean, do we just let the license expire? Do we revoke or cancel the license? What do we do with this type of a situation? Commissioner Guanasso, do you know?
Yeah, I would say at this point, rather than end up in litigation or whatnot, let's let it run out. We have, 6 weeks to go? Let it run out. No one's going to come up to apply for it. Fine. If they do, then they're going to have to get their paperwork together. But I say we let it run out. That would be my opinion.
When does the license expire?
December 31st.
Yeah, let it expire.
Well, does that preclude them? What if someone were to go in and try and run an event with something? Is there anything to stop them from doing that if they do have a license?
Well, Commissioner, from what I understand, that the building has been taken over by the head of the Moose Club and doesn't allow anyone in there anymore. That's only what I've heard. I don't think anyone that was on the board there can enter the building, from what I've heard.
Very good.
But that again, you may be right. Listen, you may be right. They may be able to, where the license is still valid, they may be able to go in there and have a party. Now, you know, you could be right on that, Commissioner. So what would that do? Unless we sent them a letter of warning that any common events coming up, they would have to notify the board.
Maggie, do you know what our position is on this and what our remedies might be?
Well, as far as the building goes, my understanding is that Moose International is selling the building and has taken it over and has removed all local, once they remove their charter, revoke their charter, that they have removed all the local club members. I don't believe they do have access to the building. Your legal options are to do as you suggested, which is to let it run out or to cancel it or to deny a renewal if they apply for a renewal, as the premises no longer exist and the type of license wouldn't be the same.
But canceling it or any type of alteration to their license requires us to give them a certain type of notice, and they have a certain level of due process, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So let's just let it expire because we're a month away from it anyway. So, you know, whatever notice that we would have to provide them, you know, according to the rules, just better off just letting it kind of fall off. And if we get wind of anything going on over there, we'll just bring them in.
Very good.
I agree with you. That's what
I'm sorry, Commissioner. What was that?
No, I have heard that also, that no members can enter the Moose Club. The keys have been taken away. The building, from what I understand, is sold. So rather than, we may be, if we were to revoke the license, I feel that we may be putting ourselves in a hot seat, because they could go into Boston and, you know, hold it up and answering. So I think for 6 weeks, let's let it run out. I don't think they have keys. I don't even think they own it anymore. So I think that's the best way to go for us.
Very
and I agree with my colleagues that let's let it just run out.
Councilor Novoselsky, I see your hand raised. Do you have something that you wanted to say?
Just my input on this. You know, I was a member of the Moose for many, many, many years, and over the last 5 years, I've been very disappointed with the management that they brought in. And I think you're making a right move by not doing anything, letting it run out. They're not a viable nonprofit organization anymore. You know, they avoided. You know, the only one that's active in it is Moose International, and there's no way they're going to come down and get involved in local activities. So I think you're making a right move by just letting it run out, and I don't think you're going to see anybody ask for a renewal, and we'll just have another license available for someone in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor. Okay, well, I guess we've reached a consensus here that we are just going to allow the license to expire naturally and then see where it goes from there. So I guess that's the result of hearing number 8 here, is we're going to allow the license to just run out and expire. And that takes care of number 8. The next items are communications, a notice of revocation of charter of the Royal Order of Moose, 1272 by Moose International. Number 2, the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission advisory regarding the 2020 census and updated quota for retail licenses. I think everybody saw that some of the licenses were increased as far as the numbers are concerned.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
What are the numbers, the new numbers?
I don't have those right in front of me. I can get those for you when, after the meeting if you'd like, and I can give you that number upon completion of the meeting.
That would help. I'd appreciate that.
You're welcome. Item number 3, a ABCC notice of approval of application for Azam Incorporated, DBA The Cutting Board, for transfer of license from Rubio's Restaurant LLC. Item number 4, the ABCC notice of approval of application of MHF Logan Operating V LLC, DBA Hampton and Revere, for a change of manager. That was approved. And I believe that is the end of my sheet. So that concludes the License Commission meeting for today. I would move that we adjourn to a date in the future, which is
December. Yeah. All right. We'll post it.
December 15th.
Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate that. I didn't have my calendar in front of me. So I make a motion that we adjourn till December 15th.
Well, at this point, just one more. I've been asked about that Lazy Crab on Broadway. Do we know what's going on with that license? Are they going to open? Are they?
According,
we could get an update on the old. Oh boy, right on Broadway, across from the Cutting Board.
Yes, Sebastian's, the old
Sebastian's, I'm sorry. Is there any update on that license, or if they're going to open, or is that, it's becoming a pocket license at this point? And I've been asked about it, but I don't know where we stand right now.
They have called the office and they say they are still working on it, which I have confirmed with inspectional services. They are apparently still working on construction.
Okay, it seems like
that is all the information I have.
We're going on 2 years at this point, which is considered a pocket license. So I'm just, I know they've been saying they've been working on it, but I wish we get a little more information, maybe through her attorney, and see exactly what's taking place. So if we can.
Yes, no, I think that's a good suggestion, Commissioner Guanasso.
Yes.
The other that I would like to discuss for a moment is the Easy Pie situation. As far as the car show that they had a couple weeks ago, a week or so ago, which was very well attended to the point of, clogged up the whole area, and it just created a major nuisance for the neighborhood. The city councilor had to go down. It was a mess. And so I realize it's not really anything that is part of our bailiwick, because it's an unlicensed event and it's not anything that we have control over. But I would like to at least make it official that we would like to have the detail officer and maybe the deputy fire chief aware of some of the problems that, arose with the fire lane blockage and the excess noise and that kind of thing. So I was hoping that to speak to you about issuing an advisory letter to Easy Pie and maybe the owner of the parking lot, laying out what the problems were and asking them to address those going forward if they decide to have additional car show events.
Well, Commissioner, the last time we had them up, which was last month, I think we told them, should you have an event like that you would notify the board. And he said he understood now. He didn't realize at the time, but he understood now. So then to do it again 2 weeks later, I think he needs more clarification on what he can and can't do. I don't think anyone can have that kind of a crowd without having some detail on the fire department, as you said. He just seems to be.
There should be some type of, it should be a permitted activity. I think that we need to really review if that falls under the guise of our purview, because I mean, it seems like the magnitude that he's having these events, just, we have the city coming in here asking for a license, a one-day license to light a tree. You're talking about a ton of cars flooding the parking lot, blocking fire lanes. You have to have a fire department on standby, officers from the city on detail. It seems like it's a well attended, organized event. So why isn't it a license? Why aren't they seeking a one-day license, or is it why isn't it a permitted activity that they should be seeking a request for, or a review from the commission to have it? It just seems like we need to really look at that, because this is the second time, like Commissioner Granasso said, that it's presenting a problem within 2 weeks.
I agree with you, but I also agree, just to add to that, the property owner of the business, who's liable for this? Who allows all this to take place? So I think there's a lot of unanswered questions here, and I think at this point, Easy Pie should stop what they're doing and let's look into it, whether he needs a license. And I totally agree, they do need a license for a special event. That's a special event.
Yep.
Well, I will say that I did go down there and see it, and it was totally out of control as far as vehicles and to Easy Pie's defense, the music that was emanating from there had nothing to do with them. These people have very nice souped up automobiles. A lot of them have woofers and tweeters the size of bass drums in the trunk, and they open up the trunk and blast the music, and you can hear it, probably over the Stop and Shop, and beyond. And, when I went there were neighbors that were at the edge of the parking lot, incredulous about the level of noise and volume of vehicles that was going on there. And I also would wonder why, we would say we would license a motorcycle run where a bunch of motorcycles go there and then leave the parking lot. That's a licensed event. But the car show where, a couple hundred cars come to the area, open up their trunk, bang out the music, hang out, and there was allegations that people were drinking out of paper cups, in the parking lot. Now, I didn't see that myself, but it was something that was mentioned, and something like that is not licensed. I am kind of a little perplexed with that. So maybe we do need some clarification on, is that something that, if it isn't licensed, how do we get it to be something that's licensed? And what else can we do to get that type of a situation under control? I don't think they'll be having any more events until next spring, but between now and then, it is something that I would think we need to address.
I'm in total agreement.
I agree as well. I apologize. I really have to go, guys. My son has football practice at 5 o'clock. I have to go pick him up.
Okay, I think we're all set.
We're all set. I make a motion to adjourn just till December 15th.
I make a motion, we all have a great Thanksgiving. Wishing everybody a very happy day.
And I second your motion, and I agree with you, Linda. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much.
The meeting is adjourned.